Hey, brother. We're on this journey to fortitude, which is the courage to stand against the headwinds of our culture and even of our own nature as God leads us. And there are many forms of fortitude that do not include wielding a sword or going into battle. They involve the purity and the integrity of your own heart. To have the fortitude internally, to keep promises, to have integrity, when the pressure of the situation would cause you to do something else. So that brings us to our word today, which is the word devoted. When the children of Israel went into Jericho, God says, I want you to devote all the gold and silver, everything of value that you find, I want you to devote that to the Lord. Fortitude with our material lives means not compromising our principles and our priorities, our promises, for the sake of convenience. And it takes a man of inner fortitude to not bend to the winds of convenience or expediency. And we've all known that struggle. You know, we'd like to fudge a little bit out of this budget, or fudge a little bit out of this particular promise, or take a little bit out of that contract that we've made. But integrity says, no, this is devoted to the Lord. My life speaks of the Lord, and people know I belong to Him, so I represent Him, and so what He gives me, I want to receive with gladness, but what He says to give away, I want to do that with joy. So they were devoted to giving these things back to the Lord when they conquered the city of Jericho. But there was another way that they were devoted. They had made a promise. They'd made a promise to Rahab and her family, and Rahab had hid them when they came to spy on the city. And she converted. She recognized the God of Israel. She recognized that He was God Most High. And so one of the things they did in the midst of warfare was that these men were devoted to the Lord and had the fortitude in the midst of the confusion of warfare to make sure that they kept their promise to Rahab. So that at the end of chapter 6 in Joshua, it says that they brought Rahab and all her family out of Jericho and kept them safe. And she lived with the Israelites the rest of her life. These men of fortitude were not so anxious to do war and to conquer cities that they would forget their promise. It takes fortitude internally for you and the Lord to know that you've made this promise, you represent Him, but it also represents the integrity of your people. So as believers, we need the fortitude to keep our promises. Let our yes be yes, and our no be no. And that may, in fact, be your challenge today. So walk into today, devoted to the Lord, and keep the promises that you've made. I'll see you tomorrow.